What up, YouTube? It's your boy Banks, and we back in the building. You feel me? It's True Talks, cause True Talks. You already know, bruh. Let's go straight right into it. Basically, you know, dog, it's getting tough out here for the Clippers, man. It's getting tough. Basically, last night and the night before that, they had a back-to-back night. Right? They faced the Warriors on Sunday night, and then Monday night the Clippers played the Pelicans, and both nights were rough. Substantial, losing pretty handedly, basically. Substantial wins, and when you look at it from that perspective, it's just, what is going on? What is going on? What is wrong with the Clippers? What is the root with it? Obviously, we know with Kawhi not being here affects drastically, right? But Paul George starting out cooking. He's struggling a little bit, but not that bad. He's still doing pretty good. You know what I mean? Top 5 scorer, I'm pretty sure, once I last checked. And, points per game in terms of in the whole NBA. And, it's just what is really going on fully, right? Because Golden State losing to them, okay, yeah, they're 18-2, whatever. But the Pelicans, that's inexcusable, especially the way JV abused these mans. Mike, 7, how many threes does this man have? Like, bruh, Valanciunas is that boy, man. 7 for 8 from 3. Like, god damn, yo. From a big man. And his form ain't even in the greatest, but he could always shoot. I always told people, like, even when he was with the Raptors, like, he had a midi, and I already know this is just like how Chris Bosh did it. Has a midi, and what happens later down the line, if you advance your game, extend it now to 3. LaMarcus Aldridge has a midi, then you could extend it now to 3. So, Vukovic has a midi, now you could extend it now to 3. Like, if you're paying attention, those, like, that's advancing your game. That's part of what I be talking about, Pascal. But that's part of what I be talking about, advancing your game, understanding what a weakness is, or understanding what you could do better, and just, working hard at it in the off season and putting in that work in, and basically advancing it to now where that ability is now displayed in regular season games, playoff games, the list goes on. So, JV just killing. And what the common denominator, let's go into that context, because I give you that context. Like I was saying, the common denominator for the Clippers, what happens is, and you could just look at it, you could just see it. When the Clippers aren't hot, when I mean hot, like, how they be shooting 50% from the field, 40% from 3, or 60%, 50%, like those games where they're hot, and they're just splashing everything as a team collectively. Because if you look at the Clippers, they don't even be going inside OD like that. A lot of it is jump shots. They shoot a lot of jump shots, right? Zubac is mainly the only one. Paul George situational. Everyone else is situational. Maybe Bledsoe transition, but for the most part, as a whole, as a team, they shoot a lot of perimeter jump shots, right? And it's not that it's bad, because the Nets do that too, but the efficiency is different. The Clippers are struggling right now with that efficiency. I expect it to, bounce up. And the fact that with their struggles, they're still where are they at exactly in the West? Like, let me check. Hold on one second. Like that, like, you gotta understand, like, it's still at the end of the day, they're not doing as bad as people think, right? They're not doing as bad as people think. Like, right now, they're what? The Clippers are 5th. They're 5th, 11-10, right? Remember, the West is basically like the new East right now, but they're 11-10. Remember how I kind of predicted? I predicted them to be 4-5, right? Dallas and them interchangeable. They'll always face each other in the playoffs. That's how I always just see it. So right now, they're 4-5. I expected Phoenix to be number 1 and Utah to be number 2. But right now, Phoenix is number 2, Utah is number 3. So my top 5 is exactly the same. The only difference is Golden State is number 1, and I had them like 6-7-ish. So, that's the one that made the jump. But for the most part, everything else is exactly what I was saying, right? So, and Denver's a bit down that they should be. But, at the end of the day, you have to look at it from this perspective. Like, they be struggling, man. When they don't shoot well, their energy defensively dips. They get, and then it's a correlation to now they get more lazier. Hence the turnovers. Like, their turnovers be bad some games, for real. So, like, there's certain things that's happening, and it's like the energy. And this is where Pat Bev was missed, because regardless of how they're shooting or whatever, Pat Bev provides energy on the defensive end that kind of trickles down to the whole team. And you can kind of honestly, Pat Bev being not defensively there and Kawhi not defensively there, you're really seeing it. That's what you're seeing right now. Defensively, how they be struggling and how they be like nonchalant, going through the motions. It looks like they're not playing defense. Those two guys are missed because one, Kawhi doesn't really say nothing, but when you see him locking up and strapping up like that, making up for other man's mistakes and, going ham, like going guarding two mans, rotating it, and just going ham and just playing elite defense, getting a board then too, blocking shots. Like when you see that as someone who plays alongside of that, you're going to be like, okay, I need to get my bag like that. Oh, that's clean. Oh my God. Now I need to add that to it. You take mental notes. So that's just, again, leading by example. When you see Kawhi going ham, diving, doing this, etc., using the claw and all that type of stuff, you get amped and you're like, no, he can't be by himself. Let me help him, right? Let me help him. My fault. And so you naturally play better defense. So that's why that Kawhi factor, by leading by example, trickles down to the whole team, even if it's not necessarily, like, and even if it's not necessarily just, the way it is. At the end of the day, you got to understand that, like, man, Kawhi it will trickle down. It will trickle down. It will trickle down for real. And then the flip side to that is he's missing. And then the flip side is what happens. Pat Bev is traded, and he is someone who doesn't lead by example. Obviously, anytime you do something on the court, you're leading by example, but it's lead by example and also just out the gate hollering and just the energy. Lead by energy, like Draymond-esque. Lead by energy. I don't have to, do the X and Y and Z and all that type of stuff. It's just my energy just ignites. When I play defensively aggressive and I'm screaming, first team. When Pat Bev be doing that, it ignites and it amps the team and trickles down with everybody else to play defense, right? So when you look at it from that perspective, it's like those two factors, like a good cop, bad cop, one leading by example, one screaming and hollering and punching, yo, what are you doing? Yelling at you, holding you accountable. That Pat Bev guy and that Kawhi guy is gone. So no wonder why certain situations where it's a simple just switch, because Valanciunas is at the top. If he now tries to back you down and you just switch back, like, there's certain things that they could have done to prevent that. But I'm noticing, and even with Kawhi there, honestly, I've been noticing that the Clippers, when someone has skill, that's been, their kryptonite, basically. That's been their Achilles heel. Because when you look at it, Luka can score off. He just runs, pick the switch, scores off the switch, has dimes when you try to overhelp to shooters. Like, so it's like, it's basically impossible and basically unguardable, right? The fact that, Luka's going to force a switch and force that, but he has skill. So he could do either one. He could do, you don't, if he has a switch with Zubac on him, he's going to fry. So you don't want to switch that at all. So then now you're playing drop coverage. He could do the step back in the midi, or now you do switch and the other man is on him. Then, it's cooking season. So it's like, it's a lose-lose situation, right? It's a lose-lose situation. But the Clippers struggle with skill, right? Then Jokic, the fact that he possesses a pop ability and a rolling ability and a post-up ability, because now you switch, now I have a baby on me, go to the post. Like, all these little things actually basically matter, right? They basically matter, and it's no coincidence at all, right? No coincidence at all. Then again, Luka is skilled. Okay, Jokic is skilled. Okay, JV now is playing like he's Jokic, is skilled, playing like he's Luka. You switch, it's a baby on him, break his chest, he makes the layup. You don't switch, he pops, Zubac is in the paint, because naturally just to play drop coverage, Zubac is in the paint, you give it to JV, splash, splash, splash. Like, JV now is basically that skilled player, that kryptonite skilled player. That skilled player just possesses and just a combination of just headaches, just a combination of headaches, basically, because it's like a chessboard. It's like playing chess, man. This guy could do that. He could shoot. Perfect example, like the Jokic, now JV. He could pop. So if he pops, oh my goodness, Zubac, our big man, is so used to playing drop coverage and so used to guarding the pick and roll, where the point guard or the guard or whoever's in the ball handling comes to the paint, and then you kind of just shut him down, stop him for a second, and then go back to the big. But the big is hella popped. open space. He gets the pass there quick enough, and it's a bucket, right? Then if not, okay, let's switch everything. Then now you switch. That same guy who could pop now has a baby on him. Go to the post, right? So it's like, what more can you do type of thing. So that's what's going on right now. So, you know, when you look at it from that perspective, man, you understand that that's why their defense, the root of it all, that's mainly why their defense, they be having confusion. They don't be padding. Like it's like they really don't understand how to, you know, do what you got to do. How to, when you're struggling shooting, still play defense. When we're struggling playing defense, find a way to snap out of it and play defense. So when you look at it and you look at these things that's transpiring, man, like, it's just unfortunate that right now you can see the Clippers you can even see the energy defensively. It's just doo-doo, man. It's actually doo-doo. So, you know, we'll see how that pans out. But, you know, that's one of the main reasons the Clippers have the record that they, not the record, or played lazy defense as they play. Again, just that cause alone. That cause alone lets you know that, okay, you know what? Dog, you can't actually be missing shots and having that be the reason why you actually don't play defense. And then leads to turnovers. And then, like, mans are cooking. And, like, bro, there's no reason why JV should have his career high and shoot 7 of 8 threes on you. There's no way. But then that's what happens, right? So it's like, not only that, offensively, like, yes, missing shots, but again, not going into the paint, right? Taking tough shots and stuff like that, and just being on a perimeter-based team. And then when you're not hitting, it kind of affects your morale and it wrecks your psyche. And now you play lazily on defense. You're always pointing fingers, and it's just a chain reaction, man. So you never want to see that. At the end of the day, you have to understand that, like, man, Steph Curry is different. They lost to Steph Curry. You already know how different he is. Hella different. And then you get the obviously situation with the Pelicans that you should be, but Brandon Ingram is different. Devontae Graham is, he's nice with it. Then the center is greening. JV is greening basically like it's 2K. Splashy, if you ask me. So, it's tough, man. It's tough to see that, man. It's like Clippers got to get back to their strides. Obviously, they're still going through rotations. Ibaka coming back and, et cetera, et cetera. So they're still figuring it out. But, at some point, it can't be like this. It can't always be like this. You already know. So it's True Talks, because True Talks. Share, like, and subscribe. We out here. There's no doubt here. There's no drought here. You feel me? I appreciate y'all. You already know. Spread the word. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. I appreciate y'all, man. You already know. And I'm out, man.